pattern recognition exists. And some of us boys can pat ourselves on the back because we are pretty good at it. This is what is left of Borderlands 4 at this point. 300,000 peak players. That's a lot of players. And now, after 2, 3, 4, I don't know, like five months, we are down to just 11 measly K playing daily. That is slightly above 3% retention. That is horrible. Even the average worst game is gonna have roughly a 10% retention ratio. The bad games typically have roughly 5% player retention. But Borderlands 4, hey, at least Borderlands 4 is swinging out of the park in one way, and that's being slop, bad, and dumb. Again, I will fight anyone who wants to on this point. Borderlands 4 is worse than Borderlands 3 story-wise. Gunplay-wise, I guess it's a little bit better, but not a lot better, because the devs actually made the gunplay technically better, but they also lost all of the soul the gunplay in Borderlands previously had, so I don't know if that's a plus or a minus at the end of the day, even. 60% positive reviews on Steam. If I see a $70 game, and when I say 70, I mean $79.99, because reasons, losers. When I see something at $80, because let's be real, it's $80, and it has below an 80 score, I'm already thinking, oh shit, this is probably bad. Anything below 70 is a pass. Anything at 60 is like, wow, I really wonder how bad this is, because there is nothing else that is entering my mind except how bad can bad be, honestly. And that's the situation of Borderlands. Randy Pitchford has done it. He can email Todd Howard and they can make a play date and talk about how they have ruined the franchises that they had once built with all of their awoke nonsense and garbage opinions and insane lunacy. And, I mean, at this point, bruv, look at this. Everything wrong with Borderlands 4. This is a Borderlands 4 channel, by the way. At this point, no one is saying anything positive about Borderlands 4. And by the way, I missed this, but I'll cover it at some point. The Borderlands first paid DLC that you got for free because Borderlands is so nice got released and no one gives a shit. No, literally, seriously. I mean, look at this. Let's go back to this, okay? Somewhere here, I don't know where, there was the first roadmap DLC thing that got given to people for free. Now, if I had to guess, I would say it happened here. But then again, I literally have no fucking clue. It probably happened somewhere here or here. Because the retention here seems a little bit higher and it's going up. So it had to happen here, but that's just because graphs and some people see a bunch of things. I see a little bit more here because I'm used to this. But honestly, even for me, it's hard to guess where the fuck it should be. Again, it should be around here because this is different from everything else. And significantly different at that. But anyway, at this point, all of the fanboys are done with Borderlands 4. It's not even close.
Borderlands 4 is a great game with a lot of potential, but like every single Borderlands game that came before...
This is what we say about every bad game that exists. So it has a lot of potential. Yes, so did Diablo 4, but they ruined it. So did World of Warcraft until they ruined it.
For it has a plethora of problems. This is everything wrong with Borderlands 4. First, launching the game weeks ahead of its original release date did it no favors. That extra time would have greatly benefited the developers to polish and smash bugs. Instead, they hyped up the early release then they dropped the game with a ton of bugs and performance issues. Marketing and hype was another big issue for Borderlands 4. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed seeing Borderlands 4 commercials on TV during prime time and it was wild and exciting, but there was...
Wait, what? Borderlands 4 TV ads? Wait, did they market this on television? Are they insane? Yo, are they completely off the rocker? Marketing Borderlands 4 on TV? Dude, might as well put it on the Christian channel in that case. Wow.
Some weird choices too. Investing likely $500,000 to show Borderlands 4
They actually did this?
on the ball in Las Vegas for
Yeah, the Las Vegas ball is a meme and no one cares. Well, actually, a lot of people care, but it's people just want to see it, but they don't care what's on it because just seeing it is the spectacle.
one day. That's kind of weird. And then there's the Borderlands movie and the tweets by Randy Pitchford, the CEO. Both increased a negative perception of the franchise. Fair or not, the Borderlands movie.
Listen. I will give Borderlands 4 one thing, though. And that is the fact that at least they did not go to the Steam forums and reply with all the negative feedback and downvotes with, well, when people first became Borderlands, do you think they were bored? I'm trying to do a Starfield meme. Did you think the first astronauts were bored when they landed on the moon? Ah. Pain, eternal pain. Jeez, why is it so painful to exist? What did we do wrong? It seems like everything. This hell has truly frozen over. But at least Randy Pitchford didn't do that. He probably wanted to, though. That would be my guess. My guess would be Randy Pitchford really wanted to do that one.
Flopping did irreparable harm to the franchise. I've only been in one movie ever in my life, and it's a flop. So me and Sydney Sweeney have one thing in common. Ultimately, Borderlands 4 didn't feel the same level of hype as Borderlands 3 at launch. I can't quite put my finger on all the reasons why that is, though. Another huge problem is the music of Borderlands 4. Gone is the amazing work of Rayson Varner and Jesper Kidd, and it's been replaced instead with a mixture of songs by Joshua Caro and Finishing Move. And Finishing Move did a great job on Borderlands 3 with the Revenge of the Cartels content. So on paper, this should work really well. You got an accomplished composer and then this awesome group that did really good music previously, but there's a huge...
I don't like this way of thinking, by the way. I really dislike it, in fact. If someone did something good one time, doesn't mean that they're actually good. Maybe it was a fluke. Typically, by the way, people who do one thing and it turns out really good is a fluke, in fact. That's just how it is. If you accidentally do something good, you're probably not going to do it again. That's just how the world functions. It's very simple to be real.
Lack of music just happening in the game. In previous games, there would be a constant theme per area that would play and give an ambiance that defined the style and the feel of the Borderlands games. It's sort of like a space western.
You know what fucking makes Borderlands shit, though? Look at this anime. This shitty animation. They just had to include the rainbow somehow, didn't they? They just needed to include the rainbow somehow in this.
Feel of the Borderlands games. It's sort of like a space western with hints of sci-fi and fantasy. Now we get the same generic fight music and themes throughout, and it just feels hollow. Probably the biggest problem with Borderlands 4 at launch is the lack of endgame. Sure, we have the ultimate level climb, but that's basically just replaying the same story missions where you can't skip dialogue and they add on terribly annoying modifiers. Borderlands 1...
This can't skip dialogue, though, when you have already played. The story is the funniest shit ever, by the way, in my opinion. No, honestly, it is so bad. You know what? Actually, I don't even care about this. Let's just talk about how bad the Borderlands franchise is in general. What he said, exactly what he said. Still, shout out to Killer 6. I watch his Borderlands content time to time, and it's pretty good. But still, Borderlands 4 has no future because it accidentally pulled a Diablo 4. I have already talked about this slightly. I have hinted on this, but let me just explain what I mean fully, okay, with this. Diablo 4 has the problem that the people playing it are now such slop lovers, such slop enjoyers, such slop eaters, that they don't care what happens to the game. They're gonna consume it anyway. And same as with Borderlands 4. So trying to get any feedback from these people is absolutely insane. And every time this happens with every game, Diablo 4 is just one of many games that this has happened to with, but it's a really good example. It's the fact that these people are gonna play the game anyway, no matter what happens, and they want everything just given to them. Borderlands 4 will never have endgame the same way that Diablo 4 has added literally 15 layers of endgame, but none of it matters because Borderlands 4 is going to inevitably do this one thing, and it is they're going to add a new thing, and by adding the new thing, they're going to make one or two things previously completely irrelevant. This is how this is going to go. I can predict the future of Borderlands 4 very simply. They're gonna add this new boss, and it's gonna be the only boss worth farming now. All of the bosses before are now gonna be completely useless because the new boss is just gonna be that better. And maybe even they actually boost your damage by something so everything else is now easy. Now instead of farming these 2 or 3 or however many bosses, now you only farm this one boss. And this is what they're going to do inevitably. In some way, shape, or form, they're going to make it so you have only one thing to farm. And that one thing to farm is going to be, well, one-shottable. And if not one-shottable, it's going to be ridiculously easy and no one's going to even have to try and kill it anyway because it's just going to be so easy. And when you make your content so brain-dead, so easy that anyone can do it, that there is literally no entry limit, that there is no difficulty applied to it. It's just a numbers game. Can you survive this or can you not? That means that the end game, people are going to be mad if it's not instantaneously farmable and very fastly repeatable. Again, look at how Diablo happened. You had the pinnacle ultra bosses. What happened? Well, people started farming them. But because they were so good, nothing before them mattered any longer. And so people got pissed that they can't farm the ultra bosses constantly. So Blizzard made it so the ultra bosses are now just completely fucking free farming. Nothing matters. You're just getting them for free, buddy. That's how it is. That's how it be. That's how it work. And there you have it. That's the way that you can destroy any endgame from ever existing. Just by making it completely dumb, repeatable content that has absolutely not even the slightest hint of complexity to it. There you go. There you go. People are going to just demand loot for free. And this is why you're never going to have endgame in Borderlands. Because this is the game, sadly. So, it doesn't matter what Borderlands now does. It's dead. It will never get out of this rut unless they probably completely rework the game to an extreme degree with all of the things that they want to do, how they approach things, and stuff like that. Because when everything's farmable, when everything's free, everything just is annoying. That's how these things work. I'm sure you have played a game that's so ridiculously easy that you get bored of the fact that you're literally just one-shotting everything, because when you one-shot everything, the only thing that matters is the reward, and then it becomes just a how fast can you get to the reward type of thing. And Borderlands is already that if you play Borderlands 4. You already know that this is 100% true. So it's only downhill from here. It's literally only downhill from here. Now, granted, will Borderlands ever go below 10k? Probably, to be honest. It looks like most of the time it's barely it's really fucking struggling to keep itself at 10k. Whoa! There was a point. Oh no. Okay, yeah. I was thinking, wait, is this a full day? It's not a full day. For a moment there, I was thinking, wait, is there a point where Borderlands is... But then I noticed that this is normal. Okay. Who Christ is worth it. But yeah, Borderlands 4 is on 8K players. That's 2.6% retention, by the way. 7K players is 2.6% retention. That is diabolical shit right there, okay? That is really, really unbelievably bad. Oh my lord. In any case, a Borderlands 4 is dead. There's nothing to be done about it. I hope you're happy. Anyway, have a nice day. Bye.